And we are live. Welcome everybody. Bragg, thank you for the follow as well. Much appreciated. I hope everybody is doing well today. Um, Big progress from last week. Did some painting over the weekend and during the week and off stream and all of that fun stuff. Hello, man. How's it going, Celery? Doing well. In the cold. Yeah, that's how he's looking at the moment. So I just have to fix this skin on the front part, and then I can move on to the other stuffies. All I have to do is lay the belt, this little front piece, and then these back parts. And there's a little sword attaching to that, and then this little crotch piece, and then still that leather part I have to fix as well. So I'm gonna try something else. Not gonna do anything over. I'm just gonna try doing it a little bit more smarter. I'm struggling with this skin on the larger areas. I'm fine with painting faces, but as soon as it extends over, how's it madness? Extends over a larger surface, then I start to fall a little bit on my face. But that's fine. We learn as we go. So what I want to try is just having other little bit of a more solid suave, my dude. A little bit of a solider medium to thin my paints with. So nothing too exciting, just their medium they use. Thinking about that, it might be a little bit too gel for my liking. I don't think that would be the case. Let's just stretch this out a little bit. It'll be fine. My other option is contrast medium, but that does leave a little bit of a gloss. I have a few glossy things on the model which I did not want to have gloss, like the water and stuff. So I'm not too keen on using that. Let's just put more of this on the pellet. I'm just trying to keep a little bit more body in the thin down paints. So as you would know, when you do a glaze or anything like that, it tends to get a little bit too watery and runny and doesn't really grab to each other, so it ends up spreading a little bit too much, especially when I'm like trying to do fine glazes where I want to. No, I don't have Vallejo glaze medium. I have other mediums, but no Vallejo glazes. But they're all the same mostly, so I'm not too stressed about that. I'm just looking for a nice thick consistency, because as you can see, that medium is just... Now the only Laudium I had was the ones I bought and then I shipped them out to you. So I didn't grab a bottle for myself because I only had one in stock at the time, so you must be thankful. So yeah. My dude. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna use my existing skin tone palette. I'm just not gonna be so daft about it. So I know what works at this point and what doesn't. The only issue what I'm running into is having a brighter skin tone turning out a little bit too patchy on the larger surfaces. So nothing to stress over. It's just trying to get it as smooth as I can without pulling out the airbrush. It's not, I haven't done mostly, no, I don't do any airbrush work on this model yet, so there's no reason to bring in the airbrush now. So what I want to do, let's grab some of this, put that there, try to deactivate some of this paint. Yeah. It's more the consistency I'm looking for. Just so it's not as runny and watery and going all over the place. Unfortunately, PVA does have a little bit of a satin finish, and I do like my brushes, so I'm not going to destroy my brushes doing that. So let's see. So I did make my life a little bit harder with gluing everything on. That's fine. Just grabbing this top parts, a little bit more of a controlled glaze. And it sticks to where you put it in because it's so translucent, it doesn't need much to actually start blending itself into the previous layers. Only thing to keep in mind when you're doing silly stuff like this is everything has a different drying time, so you don't want to introduce any brush marks or brush strokes or whatever you want to label it as. So best practice is just to put it down, leave it, and then work over that once it's dried. And then at least I can still tune it a little bit with a lighter glaze, just a bit more thin down, and I'm not too worried about that. So let's see, where can I squeeze some of the tones on the hands. Because this front hand is a little bit derpy at the moment. Very excited for your project, Celery. Thing is looking very nice. Excited to see how it turns out. And for Madness, I did do a little write-up thing about how the scoring system is going to work, so it is in a little nice little pamphlet format, so that we can share that around, that everybody just knows, like, hey, check, we are going to look at basing and stuff like that, so the people don't paint a 32 more or 75 more model and not do any basing stuff, and then they can't understand why they lose out on points for it. No problem, man. Doing my part. And I do have a very exciting idea for that pixie, so while we're finishing up this guy, I can probably brainstorm a little bit on that model, and it keeps me from not rushing this, what I'm doing now. So I want to do a plinth backdrop, but then I want to use a lot of, I'm still switching between the idea with the Chrome Mother as well, but if I do, what's the name? Or Celery, you know I'm talking about, that one streamer chick that paints also very good. Ozark or something. Ozar something like that. I looked up her Instagram this morning and I forgot again. Anyway, but she has a few models which a lot of bluish skin tones, but then she does those little spot highlights with the airbrush to introduce like these little, almost like star effects. So I want to do a whole scene where it's basically a night scene, and then the backdrop would have the same effect of, say, a little bit of a cloud or some things like that. I'll see if I can grab that sometime and then show. one of her pieces. Now we actually see these, because of the colors being so transparent, yet not running everywhere. It's actually blending a lot easier without me having to try and control it so much. Big brain moments over here. There's probably an easier way to do it, but for the time being that's the only way I can think about doing it. Only thing I don't know about this medium is how well it sticks once it's dried. I don't want to go too aggressive on it because I might lift up some paint. That would be a very sad boy. I'm not going to irritate the paint too much. Yeah, mostly I figured out my issues with my skin tones. I went back and watched one of Deno's earlier videos where he did commentary over his painting, which is a little bit faster. So I figured out what I was doing like an absolute peanut, but at least I know now, and then I can readjust my ways of doing things. Because for the most part on my shelf is mostly robots and only some faces and fantasy skin tones. There's not a lot of Caucasian flesh going around, so it is something I have to try to learn and improve on. I feel like it is one of my things I'm very lacking, is pulling the same skin tone over the whole model. Yeah, no, I also like Skinner. I just like it more when it goes all the way smooth. So, but that's the only way you can learn, and that's just to try to repeat. Alright, so I'm liking how this. Oh no, I'm not brave enough for oils. I tried a few times, but then I failed very badly. Let's see. I don't want to introduce any other colors too soon, because I know this transparency is going to build up the more layers I do. I can see on the palette is a little bit of a lighter tone than what's drawing on the model itself, so now I got more opacity to go just with this single color. Instead of introducing more lighter colors and making the jump a little bit too much. I'm just gonna keep on working with it. Hey. Man, you gotta tell us how to say SHTM. Like, shit, man. I don't know. Hey, Luda. Why is it I also keep on saying, like, every time I see popping in or something, I also just read pooping. Me and Andrea has the same issue. Hello. Hi, hi. I'll send the link for the OnlyFans later. So, yeah. Ah, thanks, Ludo. Appreciate it. I'm enjoying this model. Just want to close the door a little bit. Door is closed. Thanks, man. Yeah. So, I have to paint something for showing everybody that I have a comprehension of painting while judging other people's work. So, I think this is the easiest way to do it. Yeah, glad to have you here. I'm looking forward to when your schedule is a little bit, oh, I'm shaking, a little bit better, that you can pop in onto the Discord more often. We do miss you. I want to get you back on track. No, so I'm one of the judges for the Madness competition, so this is just stuff to keep me busy. So after this one, I'm gonna go directly to the Crow Mother, so I'll pull her out of the cupboard soon. And then I'm gonna do her, and then I'm gonna do another bust, and then I'll probably have some free time still over before the competition. Oh, mother. Oh, thanks, man. I'm glad to have you able to watch on the streams. It's fun having one of you guys from the Discord as well joining on. And it just feels like it's something you can have running in the background, so it doesn't need your constant attention the whole time. Let's see. So, good luck, Celery. Get them reports done. Yeah, Ludo, I'm glad to finally. I was so happy to see you earlier today on Celery stream. You've been very quiet for obvious reasons. Just glad to see you're still alive and kicking with all the lack of sleep, probably. All good. Madness. Check you later. All good, Ludo. Drive safely. Hopefully by this time you've bought your wife some chocolates and everything. So hopefully that happened already. So I can only do so much for you, man. good. Keep well. I'm just bringing more of this luminosity into the skin. Doesn't mean that there's being much white added to it, more sunny skin tone than anything else. And once this is placed and dried, you can do some glazing to try bring in some more warmth or coldness into areas. That forearm muscle is looking a little bit janky, but we'll sort it out. Taylor, what do you think of this guy Zob? I think that he is a pirate. Like a Zob maybe. Very busy day. Well, I don't know how much is gonna get dry, but good luck, seeing that it's cold by you. So I'm just waiting for that to dry, and then I can fix that. It's looking a little bit jank. What I might do is some of this. Forward as well. So once that dries, then we can fix that. Let's see. down low. Soften that line on his shoulder. So we'll leave the arm like that for now. So waiting for that to dry a little bit.
Yeah, boy.
Casual Painter, thank you for the follow. Just waiting for some things to dry a little bit. And then I can move on to a little bit more exciting things. So, let's see. What I want to do is close this palette and then take out one of the other ones. I think that still has some of the... Ah! Nice, thank you for the raid, much appreciated. Catching me in an awkward time. This is what I'm busy painting. So this is a project I started on last week Monday. So we're close to finishing. Ah, he's actually a dwarf casual painter. Let me do this before I forget as well. So let's see if this works. Please stand by because I'm still very new at all of these little thingies. Oof. Oh, that's not gonna work. Alright, so I ran into a little bit of a... Okay, that's gonna work still. Thanks, Harry Peter. Much appreciated. So let me see if I can figure this out. So ooh. Hey, it worked. So from the few people that are watching, please go give her a follow as well. It'd be much appreciated. Doesn't matter big or small. All we want to do is share this hobby we love. So the grumpy man likes to paint. Thank you for the follow. Please excuse me, English is not my first language, so and I'm very dyslexic, so it might take a while for me to pronounce and read your names. Okay, so at the moment I'm just gonna fill out some of the paints that I can finish up the leathers and fix this little gap I had there that I have to repaint over. So let me just see if I have a palette with all of those colors still in. Oh, another one is a green one. Alright, so we're just going to use our existing palette and then you can have a sneak peek of all the mayhem going on. Jinxed Mini, thank you for the follow. Thank you. Yeah, the skin was a lot of fun. Only mistake I made in the, well, it's not a mistake, it's just one of the things I'm very bad at is picking up skin tones once I've left off. So it's easier for me to paint all the skin at once and then go from there. But as I started playing around with some of the other things, the the recipe was still the same. It's just the order of mixing everything got a little bit whacked out. So some things could be better, but it could definitely be worse. So I'm not gonna break my head about that. So yeah, so I'm just gonna put him to the side. And then for my leather colors, I was using, where's this color? Ah, Krills, mahogany, some of that, and then what else? No, I'm lying. I didn't use that for that. I'm getting confused. Let's see. Probably this, and this, and some of this, I think. Yeah. Unless if you want to share anything you were, I think you paint. Hopefully you paint. If you want to share anything that I can have a look, or I can just go over to your stream quickly and have a look. I know that would save some effort and time for you as well. So, just giving this a little bit of a shake, and I'm just trying to think. So I did use this in the start. And I'm not very good with palette space management, so I do tend to run out of space a lot, even though I'm using a reasonable sized palette. Sorry, my broken English is coming through now. So let's grab this, and I want to first fix this little back piece. I made a mess of while fixing everything. Not the most fun part when you already did your gap filling before assembly and then paint, and then when you go to stick everything back together, nothing wants to fit. So that was a fun little first ever, because the gap was a little bit too large just to try and seal it with PVA glue or anything like that, so ended up taking a little bit more time and waiting for that to dry up. This is a lot more brighter over this white, obviously, so if we can fix that in a moment. So while that is drying, let's do this. There you go. So let's see what I can do about this leather belt. It's mixing up a little bit of a lighter tone. It's already there. I love my Artist Opus brushes, but they do tend to give me a headache when I want to do more dry textures, because they're not the hardest bristle brushes. So let's take something, take a little bit more abuse. Good old cheapo brush. Always up for the challenge. keep that center part a little bit darker, because then I don't have to do texture everywhere. Obviously that's going to be a little bit blocked. We're just going to work around that for the moment. For any of you that are still sticking around, much appreciated. All of this is a front. I'm more of a introvert, so, and I'm very bad at multitasking, so if I do get a little bit quiet, please forgive me. Yeah, just doing a lot of little textures. Well, some of the paint is still relatively wet and not set up yet. Nothing over complicated. Just having fun, having the brush dance a little bit on the surface. Let's keep on adding lighter and lighter tones. Texture, not little blobs. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Just moving around, trying not to make any patterns. Fighting our brain, trying not to make everything symmetrical. So, let's see. Let's let that dry a little bit. So while we wait for that, I can pull out the next model I'm going to be working on. So let's grab her. Where is she? There she is. Put it over there. So, some of you might know this model. She is Crow Mother from White Werewolf Tavern. She is very nicely printed by Madness. It's a local retail reseller in South Africa. Does very lovely printing work. She is also a big old lass. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun trying to figure out how to do all this metric ton of hair. And she has 2 extra little bits. Crackle crackle in your ears, obviously. Yeah, she's massive. She has this little incense burner thingy-maboober. She's holding in the one hand. It's already sitting very nicely and snug. Do some clean up on there. That's all good. My phone goes off. And this one also needs a little bit of a trimming as well. And that is her. And she's next. So at least on this one she's a little bit bigger. To the previous bust I painted. The full little bit of a size comparison. She is very large. This whole model is basically the size of a chest and stomach. So should be fun. I can maybe play a little bit more of the airbrush as well. Should be nice. I think that I did get a new one recently, which I have not used very much so far. And then the other one coming after this one is still being printed, so can't show her as well. But she is a pixie bust from White Werewolf Tavern as well. Right, I'm just gonna put her somewhere for now, she can't get hurt. Place that there. Okie dokie. So, I was busy with leathers, so let's continue with leathers. Celery, know what we have to work on. She is nice. I don't know, I'm a sucker for the female busts. I really do enjoy them a lot. I was thinking we should invent like, you know, like a guitar pedal switch where you have like a whammy bar, that whammy pedal. So we have to connect it up that whenever you push down, the camera zooms for you, and when you go backwards, it zooms out for you. Because it's the whole time you have to take the model, put it down, or zoom in or zoom out. It's a funny, the funny thing I know, Banshee did mention of his hair dryer. He has a, like a, I don't know what it's called, or what the term is for it, but say it's a studio hair dryer. So he has a foot switch for the hair dryer, so you don't have to fiddle around too much with the switches. It's a very silly thing, but I still think it's cool. I like weird things like that. Back of my mind, I'm still very scared that this model decides to jump loose from the base and take a full YOLO onto my desk. I was constantly supporting a model a little bit. If it does decide to go, at least there's some chance of grabbing it. Yeah, stipple, stipple, stipple. A little bit of ivory. It's gonna start standing out a lot. I think I'd rather do just take a little bit of a shorter stiff brush. Just building up texture layer by layer. Nothing extreme or over exciting. You finish your house duty celery. I'm not too happy with the skin yet. Still think it has to get some smoothing out, and then I'll be happy. At the moment it's a little bit harsh. I just want this leather to look more aged and very crackly or overworked. And I want to make it a little bit more cracked. Let's bring in more white or ivory. What it allows me to do is make a little bit more punchy, but then I can also introduce an ink that would bring it back down. And seeing that we've got this very green theme going on, something like a greenish dark brown ink would work nicely, because then it ties into all the other little bits. But if it's fine without it, it's fine without it. What I can do now, like a much thinner brush. And to do some cracks and stuff like that. Let's do a little bit of a edge highlight. Just to add some separation to the rest of the body, to the belt. You can read as two completely separate parts. Fine with that for the moment. I'm curious to see how much this actually blocks. It does actually block off a fair bit, and that's fine. Alright. Now let's see if we can fix the skin a little bit more. We want a little bit of a darker tone. Just softens up that transition a little bit more. Thanks, man. This hand is other story. Flanagan is doing good. Not destroying his skin anymore, so that's fine. Give a slight. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things I don't get right as well, because they just end up looking like little highlighted sausages. I usually don't really know what to do with them. Let's usually tone them down a little bit, and then I'll rather pick things out again. That last little bit seemed to fix that horrible blends. So obviously everything looks bad from close up. Okay, I'm not that close up. Well. Yeah, that's looking very much better. What do you think, Celery? Please tell me. Just sure look at the back of the model. Yeah. I feel like if I even bring it up closer to the camera, it doesn't focus on my hand. So it feels like it's at least casting some type of shadow underneath. And the same for this side where I left that much more darker. And I want to work on this part too much. I'll rather bring down that as well a little bit more, because at this moment it's got a very pale hand against a very tanned or dark arm piece. So I might just bring that down a little bit and bring that up a little bit for those two join together, because I have a plan very soon, which I usually do when I finish a project. So you probably know what it is. A little bit of a ambient lighting there, man. Yeah, so I want to bring in a no, it's like seen better days and then never seen sun in his life. So I want to do something. I hope it's gonna work out. So if you look at the model from this angle, I want to have a there's two things I maybe want to do. Shit, here we go again. So I want to have a bluish ambient light coming from below, but I think that's not going to work really too much. I want to bring in, tie everything together with like a overall greenish light coming from above, from the back side. Just because it's of the kind of theme of the models and everything. There's already so much green. If there's like this weird hint of a different shade of green, it's just gonna tie everything together. So then you got like this whole green feel everywhere, and then you got the warmer parts from it. Alright, all good, Celery. Enjoy. So that's the plan. If I can execute it, it's a different story. So let me continue fixing this little back piece. still finding its way and settling. I'm going with my lighter brown and start tying this in. And then it's gonna join up with other colors. Alright. One thing that is putting me off is that the tummy is much more yellow than everything else. Let's just give that a place. Bring this down a little bit. So it's a little bit more red. Alright. So got that done. Try to see if I can fix this issue of the back arm. finding with this skin tone mix I've been making and working on is it turns a little pink too fast. It's hard for me to correct it. It doesn't turn into all different shades of ink. And it is very yellow, I know. Can I fix that now? How's it? How you doing, Mouse? Still struggling away with the skin, but we're almost there. The front bottom, at least more or less happy with now. Thanks, man. Oh, that's drawing a yellow ball. We can do something else. All good, man. We'll see if we can move some things around in the future, because usually I just start streaming straight after I come back from work. Sometimes it is a little bit hard to just sit down and for me to just sit down and paint, but I do have the freedom of changing my schedule. So see if I can't change it up a little bit next week or whatever. Yeah, the hooks was fun to paint. Anything which is nice and small has a very pronounced edge is usually a lot of fun, because it doesn't take much to make them pop. Right, let's get some water into this. Everything is so nice and white. Do some white on white. Thought you were gonna go eat celery, now you're sitting here chatting away again. What are you doing, man? Confusing me. Sure. You're talking to a boarding school kid. You know how to eat fast. And fix this monstrosity, what is going on here at the back. Paint with your new paint. Oh, all the other Vallejo stuff you bought. I was about to say, geez, dude. Making me look bad, yeah. Soon you will. Alright, so keep on working that over. Oh. Spot away. And once that dry, we'll see how it looks. Thanks. It's all these weird little things that when I start using the paint in these weird ways, a certain time when you really start to learn how to do little funky things like that, where you've got such a high yellowish color, but as soon as you drop something over it with some stick, then it starts looking a little bit better. Now this color goes over there, and because this very pale hand is not working for me. I'm putting way too much trust into this little foot and peg holding him onto his base. Because if that thing goes, then I'm gonna be a very sad boy. Yeah, tomorrow is holiday for me because I skipped on Monday's holiday, so I have off tomorrow with the girlfriend. So then I can sleep like tomorrow, and then all of you guys have to go to work. So at least I have that one day then. Alright, that hand's looking a lot more tied into the whole thing. Yeah. Much better. Alright. That little Zarb baggie is still drying at the back. Yeah, the ugly face is a... Well, I think I like the ugly face. Well, if it's not at this point yet, this is like in phase ugly face. But when everything is still rough and sketchy, it still allows you for that freedom to do what you want. But as soon as some things get a little bit more tied in, it gets harder and harder to say, no, I don't like this, and try something else. But yeah, I do get what you're saying. Now, we'll still see, shall pull that one off. I don't know what I want to paint that as. I need idea. Do not know. But yeah, the biggest thing that can help when you get demotivated with a project is just, I'm a very big sucker for punishment, so at least I know, well, okay, I can't really start a new model up until this one is done. But sometimes it does lead to things taking a toll for the worst. But when you do something what you already did previously and you know you can pull it off again, it's a better idea just to stick with it and grind, because usually what happens is it takes 5 minutes of just sitting there and getting through it, but in your mind it's taking you an hour, when in reality just sitting down trying to figure it out for 5 minutes or 15 minutes, then you get through it, and then you just keep on going, and then before you know it, then the model is done. Let me see. Alright, I'm really struggling for ideas. Back. Alright, I have an idea. I don't know if it's the best idea. We'll see how it goes. I will bring this down again. I'm gonna be this bright. Luckily this paint is already very watered down, but still very saturated. Something I don't want to do twice. Let's wait for that to dry. And I can do baggy. Welcome Curb's mom as well. So I'm just struggling for final ideas for the last few parts. I don't know what it's drying. Might as well do a little gauntlet piece as well. Thank you. Much appreciated. It's been a fun model to paint. I was worried that I was gonna fail very badly, but turning alright, okay. Turning alright, okay. Turning out, all good. Only sad part is he's close to being done. Now one last thing I want to try, but that would be a big failure for a very nice little outcome. Let that dry. Let's look at this little Zar bag here at the back. That brown. This red that dry up a lot flatter, which is nice. Still wet in a few spots. Celery, are you still here? I want to ask you a question. Have your input. I can't shoot on stream, bro. Illegal. Thinking about streaming times. I don't know if later is better. Now I feel like Cope's bomb every time when I move in the chair, it squeaks. I was saying streaming time, so I'm thinking of maybe next week doing it a bit later. Yeah, so I don't know, because trying to finish work on time and coming back is always kind of cutting it close. And it also just allows some of the guys and gals from the Discord as well that have a more. That's from 2, 6 or 7. Yeah, that's the thing I'm realizing, where I'm in the big pool, so I have to kind of move my stuff around. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not really doing this for views, but they do help a little bit. I'll make you feel bad later about it. Oh dude, I always chat in your stream, but you never say anything, you know what I'm saying, man? So, no, I'm just joking. American streamers, not much. Yeah, so I don't know. It's an idea. But yeah, it does help to have a little bit more people in the chat, because it forces me as well to talk more BS while I'm painting. I'm still struggling to talk more nonsense while I'm painting. Let's see. Alright, what I want to do is what I was thinking, I don't know. I don't know, it's weird. I don't know really what times. Like for me, weekends is always easy, but then weekends I can blast through painting because I don't have to look up at the screen and stuff like that. Then I can just go and paint comfortably. Where now it's kind of try to keep everything in frame. Not too, I don't care about messing up. That's part of painting. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to do it too late because then I just cut into my nighttime stuff. I'll see. Maybe it picks up, maybe it doesn't. Then I can change things around. Too stressed. Yeah, no, yeah, weekends in the evening, I can't stream because then the missus is back, so unless I'm looking for trouble, then I can stream. I don't know. Or I should just paint and enjoy painting for what it is. Not worry about those things. I wouldn't be too wrong to say that you have those internal struggles as well. Internal struggles, internal discussions, I don't know. Yeah, that is that thing. I think everything's. We had this simple experience of having a good kickoff, and then it gets quieter, and then it picks up again, and then it gets quieter, and then it picks up again. So I don't know. I'm always just open for any possibilities. Like the waves, my Buddha, like the waves. So yeah. Nah, but one day at a time, my friend, one day at a time. I got an idea how to tie the skin in better so it's not that red. But for that, the next thing I want to do comes in. So I was still thinking about patterns for that too, and then to tie it back in, I'm gonna use a ink glaze through the airbrush, so all the skin tones and everything would be get tied in a little bit better. That's the plan, but we'll see when we get there. I don't know, it feels too red for me, I don't know. I don't know, I'm just brown glaze. Yeah, I was also thinking that. Where's this color? Not, that is the color, but it's very orangey, pale orange. We'll see. Thanks, mate. I don't know. When I get close to done, I get very judgy on my work. And it doesn't really help or sound convincing for anybody else. But yeah, part of the mind games. Thanks. Meow. What's up? Guys want to see a cat. I know Henry wants to see, oh, Celery wants to see a cat. Come here. Here's a cat. Look at my cat. See, cat painting tutorial. Are you enjoying this? Looks like it. Hmm? Give the cat a handle and then oh, more quickies. Alright. On the bed. There we go. Now use your Kirby's doppelganger. Doppelganger. There we go. Got it down. Oh yeah, sorry. Moss. Yeah, glazing is just watered down pigments, so you've got a few different things with a glaze, but that'll come on the videos. But very short is, imagine you're doing a glaze. So most people are familiar with a wash, which is a more uncontrolled version of a glaze, where a glaze is more for filtering over colors, not focusing so much on darkening recesses or things like that. So it's just a different type of tone you're bringing over color. Let's see what color you get from this. And then that is very there we go. It's more the color I'm looking for. There we go. Yeah. That's the correct idea behind it. Let's see, is my compressor still plugged in? I think so. Yes. So let's risk it for the biscuit. I just want to turn down the arms and stuff a little bit. I'll leave it be. So compressor noise is coming in. See if the alright. Let's take some of this rather. Did you enjoy the celebrity show of Flanagan, Hillary? Making his third debut. Alright, let's see if this goes down well. blow off valve maybe. They call it a, it's a thing called on a turbo gate or whatever you call it. Boost gate, there we go. Alright, at least now all the highlights are more or less the same color, so now I feel happier. Not with the, oh yeah. So what I was doing now was very thin down paint, so because the colors surrounding the skin tone doesn't have much color harmony with the other things, it doesn't have that much of an impact. But as soon as it's easier, okay, let's explain it like this. When you have, say, just good colors to use, say red and blue next to each other, and you have a blue mix of paint in your airbrush and you spray it in between the two, thin down though now, you're gonna saturate the blue color more without having much of an impact on the red. You'll maybe start darkening down the red a little bit, but the impact between the two colors will have a greater impact with the color that has harmony with the glaze than not having harmony with the glaze. That's the easiest way to explain it. So unless I was going in with very saturated opaque paints, then yeah, then I would have that issue of trying not to overspray. What's our time? Almost there. Okay. Yeah, now I'm happy with the skin tone. Now it looks a lot better. Not as red or too yellow or whatever on all the sides. It's all tied in together now. Again, some of those times when I know something would be much easy or would be fixed easily, but then I'm like, no, I don't want to use the airbrush. I didn't use the airbrush the whole time. Why would I use it now? Also depends on your some people. Yeah, that's the other key thing as well. Because if you do what I said now, but you don't have the right paint mixture, or you don't know how much paint to apply each time, then you're gonna make a very bad mistake on a model you pretty much spent, okay, not in this case, not too many hours, but if you're trying this for the first time and you're just going full YOLO, then you're gonna end up having a very bad time. And bad times we do not want to have. Alright, now I'm really much more pleased with the skin tones. And at least now I do have a nicer color to highlight from, so some of the areas will be much easier to highlight now and bring everything to the same highlight color. Now, so let's pull these out as well. So, as Mossmoth would know, good airbrush does help a lot. So this is the good old cheapie you can get by most places that has weird airbrushing tools. So this one is nice, easy to get, does most of the stuff, like if you want to do glazing work and stuff like that. But if I wanted to, say, be very fancy smanchy and do a highlight over his beard, then what I can do is go ahead and take airbrush and highlight the beard so it's a more evenly dispersed area. Then I would not use this, then I'll use something like this, which is much more focused for detail work. And then that, yeah, so yeah, it just depends on what you want to do and stuff like that. But in saying that, you can still make a big fuck up with this airbrush, just as big as you can do with this one if you don't know how to control your airflow and how much paint you want to get come out and all of that stuff. Same with the brush, all comes down to practice, repeat, fail, win a little bit here and there, and then you'll start getting some things right. Right, so we are almost just about on the 2-hour mark. I think that's a good place to put him aside for now. I don't know what muscle you're talking about, but good luck with that, Celery. Go punish your muscles. I'll stop the joke there because I know Cope's mom is watching as well, so we'll stop with the. Cope's mom was getting very excited now. As soon as Celery starts talking about punishing muscles, she knows what's up. Anyway, we're saying that. We're saying that I hope you guys have a good night there. And then I'll check you guys, not tomorrow, I'll see the guys from the Discord tomorrow night for our little chat and everything. How's it going, Ether? We're just about wrapping up. I don't know, I get very confused with this Plummy Streamlabs thing, because I can see it says there's 2 viewers watching, and there's clearly not just 2 people interacting in the chat, so I'm just gonna forget about that thing. So, in saying that, hope you guys all have a good evening further. I don't know how late you dropped in, Ether, but this is where we're sitting with this guy. So I'm finally happy enough with the skin tone now, after much pain. Okay, been lurking the whole stream. All good, man. Thanks for the lurk. And then, yeah, not too far off, and then we are ready for the next one. So, depending on how tomorrow goes, if the missus decides to take a little nap, then I might try to squeeze this one out and get him finished. And then we can have more fun with a bust, which I am a lot better in painting. So, we'll leave it be there. Leave it be there. Alright, stop trying to say fancy words. So I'm not going to raid anyone tonight. I have to bounce off and go eat. So everybody have a good night. Check you guys later, and then yeah, have a good one. Cheers everyone.